In our work and life in general, we always have tough days. But today I want to talk about one of the most tough days I have faced, especially recently when selling on eBay. One of the days which was so intense, it almost made me consider quitting at the time. Now, the reason why I say that in quotation marks is because once I thought this through, I realized that was the dumbest idea ever. It's just one of those days that is stressful. But I have to say there has been a couple of times where I have considered quitting this business. Each of those times though, I am glad that I have not. So if anything, this video is going to be a little speech about what's happened for me, what made me not want to quit ultimately, and hopefully some motivation for you guys as to no matter how tough it gets, sometimes it is worth just toughing it out. So let's first discuss the problem. As you obviously know by now if you've been watching, I am a watch seller. I sell loads of different watches on eBay. I've got about 250 versions which I sell, and obviously any of those can sell at any time. Now, in the last couple of days, I've seen some really good orders. The past month for me is now looking like 120 sales, with about 6 or 7 sales coming in today already of one item, so that's clearly a very good seller. And again, it's not even midday yet, so it's doing quite well. I'm happy to see that. I have to say, most of my customers on my store are really good. I couldn't complain a word about most of them. But as it always is, especially in most customer service jobs / roles, 90% of the problems come from about 5% of the people. So whilst most people on eBay fall into a category where I can't really say much about them, they don't say anything good or bad, then the next category is those people who say good things in the sense that they may have a complaint or something, but then they get in contact with me, they're nice and polite, and we solve their issue. They're also people I'm very happy to deal with. But then you've got that small margin which makes selling on eBay so difficult. And again, this is nothing new. This can happen in any kind of customer service job, whether it be something online or something in real life. You can get this in a shop, and ultimately I'd rather face it online than in real life and have to deal with even more stress. But I'm going to be talking about some of my more stressful customers in the past couple of days and what that's led me to believe. So as you'd expect when you're doing volume of over 100 sales a month, you are going to get some returns. My returns rate, I believe, is about 5 to 6%. It is coming down. The reason why it was so high is because in the first couple of weeks of selling previously, I had so many returns that kind of inflated the numbers artificially, but now it's coming down. So let's say you get 100 sales with a 5-6% return rate, you're going to have 5 to 6 returns or more a month. So you should be prepared for that. And I don't have a problem with that. I am obviously prepared for it, and that will be accounted into the potential profit I intend to make per month. It's not even a big concern. The trouble is though, some customers make this so difficult. Most people are fine with it. I say, if you've got a problem, send it back. I do free returns. You won't be left out of pocket. I'll pay all the costs and you won't lose anything. Some customers though make it so difficult. Let me talk to you about one customer who bought from me in the last couple of days. I'm just going to tell you about what happened. Some customer complained about an item not arriving. Already this was unfair because the item had only been dispatched about 2 or 3 days ago, and in that listing it said that the estimated delivery time is up to 7 working days. So the item shouldn't have even arrived in that amount of time anyway, considering that there was a weekend in between the gap. So I said to the customer, can you please wait? The customer's given a lot of trouble for no reason, but hey, the item was only like £20. I bought it for like 10. I'm just going to give him a refund. So I was just there like, well, now you've got a free watch, what is there to complain about? Because, you know, you're going to get a free item. I think that's the best thing I could have done. And I think most people, just general people, most decent people, would sit there and say, hey, well, whether I not now need this item, I made the mistake, I should have read the listing. If it's too long, I shouldn't have bought from this shop, because fair enough, I have items that I offer, you know, first class postage on. I have items that I offer more economy services because I might be waiting on deliveries or something like that. But ultimately, it's on the buyer to read the description and shipping information of the listing. It's definitely not hidden. It's very openly out there. So I gave this buyer a full refund, with the whole idea being you can have the refund and you can keep the watch. That way, if it arrives, which it will, you will not have lost anything and you'll actually have gained a free watch. And if it doesn't arrive like this customer claimed it was never going to do, because apparently I never sent it to begin with, if it doesn't arrive, well, guess what? You've not lost anything. You got all of your money back. This customer made it such a big fuss saying, oh, I'm going to leave negative feedback. This has been a bad experience. At the end, I was just like, leave negative feedback, because obviously I don't want negative feedback. And I thought it was really unfair for somebody to want to leave negative feedback after receiving a free item a refund, and me responding to them as fast as I can. We're talking about responding to this person within 20 minutes on Saturday evenings, where I could have been doing something much better with my time. Actually, I was trying to do something much better with my time, but I was sat there with my phone out trying to respond to this person in good time. So that was frustrating, and that customer's caused me so much fuss. In the end, I was like, you know what? Just leave me some negative feedback. Leave me the kind of feedback that would make me never have to deal with a customer like you again, because it was such a difficult experience. I'd rather just not. So in that instance, if anybody was in the wrong, it was them in my opinion, because whilst the delivery process on that item may have been unfair in their eyes, it was clearly displayed. It's not like I said it was going to arrive through first class and it was estimated to arrive through economy mail taking 5 days or something like that. It was very clearly stated that this was going to be coming in between like 5 and 9 days. So it should have arrived and it was still on track. The customer should have read better. And then I had another case of a similar thing, not nearly as bad, but another customer being unnecessarily annoying. I had a listing for a specific watch. I don't need to show you what it is, but this watch came with a silicone strap. This was very clearly stated, the strap is silicone. Now I've had some confusion on this item before, so I contacted this person saying, hey, I've got this watch here for you, I'm willing to send it out, but are you aware it's a silicone strap? And that buyer then tries to give me a hard time saying it should be a stainless steel strap. I'm just sat there like, well, no, it's displayed in 3 places. In the title, it says silicone strap. In the item specifics, it says silicone strap. And in the description on the first line, it says, this watch is for the watch with the silicone strap. That buyer still tried to give me a hard time about it, saying, well, you're trying to get me on the fine print. How is anybody trying to get you in the fine print? It's clearly displayed in the pictures. It's clearly displayed in everything else. So whilst people have made that mistake before, I thought I'd better get out there and confirm. Anyway, fortunately, we were still able to make that sale, which is good, because that is an item that I've had laying around for months. I did have to give the buyer a small discount for that. Well, I didn't have to, but I decided it would be the best thing to do, as I am still trying to be polite in the best ways that I can. But it was another case of annoyance, a buyer trying to blame me for doing something wrong, when in reality, they haven't read the listing properly. They haven't even looked at the pictures properly to understand what they're buying. And my other little bit of stress in the same day was a return for an item. Now, fair enough, this person is saying that an item has arrived, but it's the wrong item when they opened it. Now, admittedly, this could have happened. I cannot confirm or deny that this has happened. Some people do try and scam you, buying something off you, saying that it never arrived or what arrived is different, and they send you back something, much worse. I've seen this happen numerous times. It's happened to me only once or twice before, but this does happen where people buy something expensive and send you back something cheap and rubbish. So that was annoying, but for that customer, I assumed it was a genuine complaint, because it is actually possible with how many watches I have, and sometimes I am sending out 5 to 10 orders a day. It's possible that I could have just shipped on the wrong label to the wrong item. So for that one, I gave a full availability to give a return, because I still want the item back, but I can give them a refund once that item is returned, even if it is the wrong item. So 3 difficult cases in a single day. Admittedly, one of them can have been my fault or could have been my fault, but the other 2 is a case of customers being difficult, and especially customers where you do everything that you can, you go out of your way, you're responding to them at 12 in the morning and then 12 at night. You're doing everything that you can. You're giving them a free refund, free returns, everything. I'll solve your problems, and they still try and leave some negative feedback and cause you a big problem and cause unnecessary stress in your life. I have to say that has been one of the more stressful days that I've faced selling on eBay. It's not necessarily about the complaints themselves, because there is certainly a way to deal with complaints and a way not to. Let me give you an example of this. I had one customer the other week who bought an item which was a grey watch. It was kind of dark grey, almost a black colour. Now, this watch is sold like 50 plus times. Everybody knows that it's a black colour. The item specifics say black, all of the pictures show it being a grey black colour, sort of dark silver. This person, for some reason, thought it was more of a white / light colour silver, kind of like this watch that I'm playing with now in my hand. Someone thought it was this kind of colour, and it was actually, more of a dark kind of black silver. So this person got the watch to arrive, and then they said, hey, it's the wrong colour. I said, show me a picture. It was actually the right colour, because it was a dark black. Then this person said, well, I thought it was a silver. I'm like, well, fair enough, but it's not. It's clearly displayed. And we came to an agreement as to how to get this person a silver watch. That's the thing. As eBay sellers as a whole, we are trying to do the best that we can, especially if you're a buyer watching this video, please understand that. We're trying to do the best that we can, and for me in my store, I'll do anything that I can to resolve your issue. I even gave somebody a completely for free watch for no reason, just because they left a little bit of a complaint. Now, admittedly, I don't want to make a habit of that, but the point I'm trying to make should be clear. I'm doing what I can, but some customers make it so difficult, give you so much of a headache about nothing. Like that guy was still complaining for hours to me about a watch which is free, all with the threat of leaving negative feedback. So in the end, I was like, well, just leave negative feedback and save me the time. And that person didn't even leave negative feedback. So what that was all about, I don't know. I'm assuming that person was either extremely bored, lonely, depressed, or, possibly mentally unstable, because it was very strange. I've never dealt with a customer like that before, but it was a huge headache and it really did stress me out for that day. Anyway, this is a little bit of a rant to the camera, and I'm sorry about that. If you watched, I'm sure some of you guys can relate, especially if you're selling on eBay. You do sometimes get customers which do try and do some shady practices, cause trouble, when all you're trying to do is run a decent business. Again, if I've made a mistake, fair enough, I'll try sort it out. If you've made a mistake and you're polite, I'll still try sort it out. I offer free returns for basically any reason. Return the item if you don't like it. I've actually had 2 returns today. I'm happy with these customers. I'm going to leave them positive feedback, and I think they're going to leave it for me. It's been a good experience communicating with them and cooperating with them, because even though they gave me back that item, they still didn't make a huge fuss of it. They understood that there's a problem and it wasn't intentional. But some people just make the experience so much more difficult. Anyway, thank you for watching until the end if you have done so. If you can relate, do leave me a comment telling me about your difficult customer experiences. I'd love to hear them. Thank you though for watching, and I'll see you soon.